Welcome, everyone, back to Real Talk with Just for Girlfriends. I know you're used to seeing us on Monday, but with the holiday, we said let's change it up a little bit. So for this month only, we're coming to you live on Tuesday at 3 p.m. We'll be back to Mondays next month. But we're so glad you're here. I know after being so busy over the weekend, we appreciate you joining us. And we have a really important, interesting conversation for you today about brain tumors. It's Brain Tumor Awareness Month. But before we get into that, we're going to introduce ourselves for all of our new viewers and followers who may not have caught us before. But I am Michelle Skinner. I am been a member for Just for Girlfriends for almost 7 years now and been on the board. I also manage Just for Girlfriends social media sites. So if you hear anybody say, join me on social media, it's me. And I promise you I'm going to say it more than once. So don't hold that against me. But Angelique, please introduce yourself.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Angelique David, and I'm the founder and CEO of Just for Girlfriends. For our new listeners, Just for Girlfriends was formed on the premise that women are often so busy taking care of everything and everybody that we don't stop and take care of ourselves. So that's what Just for Girlfriends does for you. You join, and we create fun, unique, and engaging events, doing things that you might not otherwise do by yourself. And we come together, we say, take off all your hats and take a commercial break from life and just have fun. And remember when you didn't have all of those responsibilities and you just could let your hair down and just have fun. So that's what Just for Girlfriends is.
And I can tell you, it may sound like, okay, this is common sense, but you do not realize how much you need it until you do it. I was the same way. And it's been a game changer for me. I will tell you that busy working and raising children and trying to do all this other stuff, it feels so good to just show up and just have these unique experiences, things I would never even think to do, but just have these unique experience planned down to the T. So I can tell you, if you have not been to a Just for Girlfriends event, you're missing out. Only takes one time and you're hooked. So yeah, like Angie said, come visit us on the website, see what we have going on. And here I go. Come see us on social media. We talk all about all the fun things that we do. So, so Angela, I know I'm getting off the soapbox, but I mean, I'm just so passionate about it because it truly does.
It's okay.
Yeah, and your quality of life. I just feel like everybody should at least try it. So Angelique, I know every time we start the show, we talk about what we've been thinking about. We're catching up to our audience, letting them get a glimpse, into our personal lives just a little. But I'm wondering what's been on your mind this week or since the last time we've been live.
Yeah, so since the last time we've been online, I have a senior daughter who has graduated. But what's been on my mind is because we've had everything from honors awards, and she's done amazing, and I'm her biggest fan. But really, as I sat in, and she goes to a fairly large high school, so there were over 800 graduates.
Wow.
As I sat in the audience and I looked at the sea, exactly, and I looked at the sea of young people and thought about what they were now, the bridge they were crossing and new beginnings. So that's
Yeah.
kind of been on my mind, is new beginnings and what new beginnings look like. And really thinking about that, not just as a senior graduating, but as a adult. And you think about things excuse me, that you finish. And often we look back and say, oh, that's done. But we should probably shift our line of thinking and say, and what's next? And the new beginning, and not be as sad about things you're leaving behind, whether it is a job, a relationship, whatever it might be. But think about what's ahead of you and the journey and enjoying the process and embracing a new beginning. So as I'm thinking about the multiple graduates these days, whether it's law school, high school, grad school, whatever it is, to think about the new beginnings that you face as you close one chapter in life and you move on to another chapter in life. I think it's an exciting journey. As I'm looking ahead now, we will be dropping our daughter off at college, and people have heard me talk about this all the time. We have, she's my teenage best friend. But as I drop her off at college, it is absolutely sad. It is sad. I'm gonna miss her to death. But it's a new beginning for her, and it's a journey for her, and it's a new beginning for me. And what does life look like when you have a college student? So
Yeah.
embracing that instead of feeling remorseful, well, not remorseful, but feeling sad about what you're losing, embracing
Yeah.
what's ahead.
I love that. And you're right. I rem I mean, it's been many, 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 many years since high school graduation, but I remember you being on the cusp of this new adventure. And it's scary for her too, I bet. You know what I mean?
Yes,
You're
yes,
being one step further removed from your safety net, but it's so exciting to look at all of the new opportunities that you will experience. So, yeah, I'm happy for her. And I would say you have done a great job preparing
thank
her.
you.
Yeah, there's nothing else you could do. So, and you and me, we're only a phone call away. So, yes, I
Yes,
so excited to see what she does next. I think she's going to really enjoy this experience, and it's necessary to grow up. I think you do have to kind of step outside. And I always tell people college, I think is probably was the best time of my life because you're grown, but not, you know what I mean? You could always get the
yeah,
support you needed, but you're making more and more of your own decisions and in real time seeing the
yeah,
consequences of those decisions. So I think it's
yeah.
it's important for preparing you for more of the real world. But
New beginnings.
and
And
even as an
I will
adult,
say the show that we're doing is near and dear to her heart. So it is natural that I would mention her
right?
because my daughter ultimately wants to be a pediatric neurosurgeon. So
Yeah,
that's how she came up with that specific field. I don't know. But when your
it's
kid says
needed.
they want to do something,
Yeah.
regardless is whether it's go to the moon or be a pediatric neurosurgeon, you embrace it and you push it and you give them every tool that they can to
Yes,
make that happen. So the
yes.
topic that we're talking about today is actually perfect and very near and dear to her heart as well.
You're right. I love that no dream is too big, right? We're letting them know that you can do
No.
whatever you want, you know what I mean? And you trying to figure out how to make it work. So, yep, I absolutely love that. So, without further ado, I think it's time that we introduce our subject. As I mentioned at the top of the show, May is Brain Tumor Awareness Month. So, we have a treat for you. One of our Just for Girlfriends members had started a foundation specifically to help those either suffering from brain tumors or the family of those supporting someone with a brain tumor or if they've lost someone with a brain tumor. So the name of the foundation is the Mary E. Smith Foundation. And we are happy to sort of turn our awareness into action. So let's bring out our guests. Hi, Joyce. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you being here and helping us shine a spotlight on brain tumors and how the Mary E. Smith Foundation has helped you.
Hello.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I'm a mother of four and a grandmother of 10, great grandmother 3.
Wow, that's a
And my
blessing.
70th birthday on the 19th of April.
Wow.
My
Yes.
family gave me a huge birthday celebration, and
I
I'm
love
on
it.
cloud nine about that. So I'm just so thankful. I'm mostly thankful for just still being here because
Mhm.
I am a brain tumor patient. I
And a
had
survivor, right?
the name of it.
I said you're a survivor.
Yes, I am.
Mhm.
I am. Thank
Yeah.
God I'm still here. Yes, in 2012, I had a brain tumor removed from my head, the
Amen.
size of a kiwi, the doctor said.
Wow.
And it was a successful surgery. He said it should never return again. And the way I discovered it, I was out shopping one day with my husband and my daughter, and all of a sudden, in my right eye, it's
Mhm.
like someone pulled a sheet over my eye halfway. I could
Mm.
see above the sheet, but I couldn't see below the sheet. I thought something was just in my eye, so I just asked my daughter to check my eye and see was there anything in it. And she says, "No, ma, I don't see anything." So that lasted for only about 5 or 10 minutes while I was in the store. And it was kind of frightening because that never happened before. I just took note and knew I had a doctor's appointment coming up, and I mentioned it to my primary doctor, and she referred me to an eye specialist.
Mm.
Went to the eye specialist, and he checked my eye, and he even got another doctor to come and check my eye. And their conclusion was that I should go see my primary doctor and ask them to do an MRI on my eye because
Okay.
they saw something that should not have been there, and that was the tumor. Well, anyway, I
Mm-mm.
went to see my doctor, my primary doctor again, and she did give me the MRI. She called me in a day later, asked me if I could meet her at the office. It was close to closing time.
Mhm.
And I hurried up and got there. I called my daughter, Delecta. She met me there, and that's when she told me I had a brain tumor. And it
I'm
was very,
sure that was scary to hear, right? Yeah.
yeah, it's
Mm.
very shocking and sort of scary because I'm like a brain tumor.
And you didn't
So,
have any pain. It was just that one day and your vision was impaired.
exactly, no pain, no headaches, none of
Mhm.
that. So, my daughter immediately, along with Tiffany Woodson,
Yes.
they
That's
Wow.
decided,
the CEO of the Mary E. Smith Foundation. Yes.
right, they decided to do a research on the best doctor possible,
Mm.
surgeon that could give me advice on this, my eye,
Yeah.
and found one at Northwestern Hospital.
Okay, that's great.
And
So how did you first learn about the Mary E. Smith Foundation and Tiffany Woodson?
okay, it had been a few years that I actually worked along with them. My husband and I both were the photographers and the videographer for the group. We was
Oh,
walking with them and bringing out other people to to walk and run with us.
Yeah.
And it was just happened like a few years later after I had dedicated a lot of time and I enjoyed working with them. And to find out that I had a brain tumor, after knowing that her mother, we was doing this due to her mother,
wow.
Mary E. Smith,
Oh,
passing from a brain tumor. So that's when how I found out about it. I was actually working along with them.
I,
wow.
It was truly a blessing.
that's such a, yeah, that's amazing story. That's amazing story. And it always, that goes to that God will put people in your life when you don't even know why they're in their life, but they're there for a reason. And that kind of, that
Exactly.
story just shines a light on that 100%.
That is so true. So thank goodness that you knew about this resource. And that's why we're here today. We're trying to give those of you watching, and please, like and share this video with, all of your friends and your loved ones, because knowledge is power, right? We want
Yes.
you to know about these resources that you have out there. And I've
Mhm.
also read that, having a brain tumor, like we always think, okay, maybe you would have these headaches, but there are sometimes symptoms that you would not necessarily attribute to brain tumors. Because I'm sure, like you said, when you had your vision just in one eye, you didn't immediately think, oh my God, I probably would have a brain tumor. That's not something you
Not
would
at
think,
all.
a symptom of that. So, how long was it between you finally being diagnosed to starting on your recovery journey? How much time had passed in between there?
Well, it was only a few months that the doctor suggested to my entire family. It was my husband and two of my children that went to the doctor with me, and he told me that we should have this surgery right away, which was only a couple months out from the time he had discovered it. He was the doctor I had got my second opinion from, because it's always good to get more than one opinion. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
After he did the surgery, I was perhaps in the hospital for a short time, maybe 3 to 4 days. And then I recovered over a matter of months. And, slowly it took time for me to uh, recover 100%.
Mm.
And all I can say is, look at me now. I mean, God is good.
Yes.
All the time, God is good. So
Yes,
everybody's recovery is different because some
absolutely.
people may have cancer to their brain tumor, and I was blessed not to have the
Oh,
cancer.
okay.
So that's why we're trying so hard for these our young people to come into the field of neurology to study about it and find a treatment for it, to find out why is this occurring to so many people. It's a lot of people going around not even knowing they have a brain
Right.
tumor. My
Until it's
girlfriend,
too late. Right.
my girlfriend's brother was in a car accident, and they gave him an MRI and found out he had a brain tumor. They had to operate right away. He couldn't even notify the family that he had this brain tumor, and they were going to operate. But thank God it was successful also, and he's doing just fine.
Wow.
That's amazing. Uh,
Mm.
yes, you never know, like what you could be walking around with. That's why we advocate
Yeah.
here at Real Talk and also on BDO about regular checkups, even though something like this you may not even catch in your regular checkups. I'm not sure about that. Yeah.
It has no age to it either. There's
Mm,
infants that has it,
Mhm.
young people that have passed from it. And it's just so
yeah.
devastating to lose a child due
Mm,
to a brain tumor. And I've seen it happening, and I'm hoping that it will never happen again, but who knows? So all we can do is come together and work as hard as we can to find a cure for this or a reason for it.
right. And that's why the work that Tiffany Woodson does with the Mary E. Smith Foundation is so important. That is
Yeah.
their goal, I mean, to hopefully eliminate brain tumors. And now my goddaughter is going to be going into that field and she'll be making some contributions. I am sure of that.
It's wonderful.
But you're right. What services of the Mary E. Smith Foundation have you used personally or your family have used in dealing with your brain tumor?
Oh, well, I just get the word out to other people and bring people in to join with the walk and everything and contributions and everything. I'm very close to Tiffany. She's like my goddaughter. She and
Okay.
my daughter are best of friends. And so I work diligently with them each and every year for the walk and a Shoe Away Brain Tumor, which is a fashion show they give every month and I mean every year. So I bring in many people, that support her and support me also.
I love that. And here at Just for Girlfriends, we're huge supporters as well. So you mentioned the walk that they have coming up several times, and that is June 15th, I believe. We
Yes,
have a team Just for Girlfriends. So yes, that's always a fun time. And that's a big fundraiser for the Mary Smith Foundation, isn't it?
it is. It's huge. Several times I have came in first place, uh,
Wow.
getting as many people to donate, if not volunteer for the walk. And I've had friends that have been there for the walk that's no longer with us, not because of brain tumor, but because of other casualties. So we just want to remember all those that have lives have changed so tremendously and their family lives have changed, such as, you know, Tiffany. For instance, her mom wasn't here to even meet her grandkids, Savannah and Jordan, which are beautiful, beautiful children.
Yes.
So I have sort of stepped up to be there for them when they
Oh.
have graduations or
Mm.
proms or, anything. I think her mother-in-law, who is now in heaven, we went to
Oh,
Savannah's school for Grandparents' Day one
Oh,
time.
I
And
like that. Yeah.
We visited with the teachers, and then after that, they had a mass next door at the Catholic church she attended. And it was such a blessing that we were able to be together at that time and enjoy Savannah.
That says a lot about the support that they've given you as well. That you are involved with them in such an instrumental way. So thank you. I'm thanking you on behalf of Tiffany. I'm sure she would if she was here. Um, she had technical difficulties, and so she'll be in the comment section, but will not be able to appear live with us this
Okay.
afternoon. Yeah,
Well,
but
she worked so diligently hard on this organization. Her and her husband, both.
mhm.
I have to give it credit to him too, because I believe he was the one who came up with the idea
Oh, I
to
didn't know that.
form this organization
Oh,
on behalf of her mother. So
um,
it's just such a wonderful, wonderful organization. And I just see it growing each and every year. It's a struggle for her. It's quite hard by her having a job and all.
oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm just
Her passion,
hoping, praying
passionate.
for more supporters to come out and join us.
Well, we are here to get the word out. Again, if you're watching, if you're tuning in, I would really appreciate you going to the website. We can put that up across the screen again. Maybe you can take a screenshot, but it's a Mary E. Smith Foundation.org. You'll find out about how you can either join the race for a cure, which again is coming up in a couple of weeks in June. You can either donate, volunteer, or form a team yourself. Any and all of that. I'm sure Tiffany would appreciate the support. So please go to the Mary E. Smith Foundation.org and help out. Coming up June 15th. Just for Girlfriends has a team that's going to be, well, we'll probably be walking. I don't know if we're going to be running it. It's a 5K. We'll probably be
Right.
walking it. We're going to be walking it, but it's a fun time. They have vendors there. They have dance teams. It's a really fun time, and it's a great cause. So we would love to see some of our Real Talk with Just for Girlfriends supporters out there, or helping out in any way that you can. It'll be greatly appreciated. Absolutely.
And
Yes, it'll.
if you want to join our team, we'd love to have you join our team. Just
I
go to our
would.
website and contact us, and we can get you on
Yeah,
our team. So the more people we have on our team, we love it. So we welcome you to do that.
I would absolutely love that. I'm the self-proclaimed team captain. I don't know why, but I stepped into those shoes. Nobody asked to. But yes, please, I would love to
And
have
we
you
love
out
you
there.
for it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So another one of the events, Joyce, you mentioned was the shoe gala. What is the exact name?
Shoo away brain tumors.
Shoe Away Brain Tumors, the gala.
Yes.
Can you tell a little bit more about that?
Well, we just had it, I believe, last month, and it was at the water tower for the last couple of years.
Mhm.
And they have can't think of the guy that works along with her, but he has the fashion show for clothing and she has the fashion show for shoes. So when we first started out with the fashion show, Sure Fashion Show, it was just her, and she had it in different places, and people come out, and a nice number of people, and they would see the shoes and they would buy the shoes. I even bought a pair of shoes before from them,
Okay.
and it's really worth a good for the good cause of the brain tumor, because she also give these scholarships out to several children, about 4 students throughout the year, and the ones that's about to study in neurology. So it really helps them when they start college.
Right. So that's what I love about the Mary E. Smith Foundation is that they aren't monolithic. They are trying to improve the lives of those affected by brain tumors in many, many different ways. And I absolutely love providing scholarships to those going in those fields. You know what I mean? I absolutely love that. And Angelique, you can talk more about it, right? You went to the Shoe Away brain tumor event this year. What was your experience?
I can. Yes, I did go. I did go to the event, and it was absolutely. Can you hear me?
It's breaking up, but
Hello.
I think yes. Can you hear us now? I know this technology, it's wonderful, but we do have issues sometimes.
I can. Can you
Right.
hear me now?
Now we can hear you better. Yes.
If you can't hear me, okay. Yes, the event, and it looks like Tiffany might be in our studio now, so she may be here. But the event was absolutely fabulous. Everything from the students to the shoe fashion show to the clothing fashion show. If anyone doesn't know, for those who don't know me, I love, love, love shoes. In fact, I built a whole shoe closet. That's how much I love shoes. So it was really fun to go to a shoe fashion show because I'd never done that before.
That's absolutely. Oh, so look who joined us. We're so happy to have you, Tiffany. We're going to take a step back and have you introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay. Well, I'm Tiffany Woodson, co-founder of Mary E. Smith Foundation. And we've been doing this work for about 17 years in memory of my mom, who we lost to a brain tumor. But we are turning, what our hurt into help for others. That's what I like to tell people. And so, yeah, we're just out here trying to spread awareness for brain tumors. I've invited, Joyce Rushing, who you guys were talking to, um, who is also working with our charity, actually was our photographer. I don't know if you told them that or not. But, knowing the information that we had been sharing, we were able to quickly help her do a little, assist with getting the treatment that she needed for her brain tumor. But it's work, trying to spread awareness because we don't get the same type of, I guess, fanfare, if you will,
That
like
part.
breast
Mhm.
cancer and all of the other things. It's just not out there for brain tumors. And some of the survivors, most of them know me personally. And when they reached out to me, they're like, I didn't know you and you were black and and
Right.
everything like that.
I'm sure
So
you're a unicorn in this space for sure, right?
yes, so I'm somewhat of a unicorn when it
Yes.
it comes to this work. But it keeps me going, helping others, and I just end up meeting lots of black women. I don't know if that's my mom in action or what, but I
Mm.
meet so many black women, and they take me on under their wing, and we stay in touch and that kind of thing, and I'm able to help them through their journey with this condition. So
No, definitely a blessing. It absolutely has. It Joyce was telling us about her experience. And so it brings to mind that, and you can speak to this too, is that brain tumors, they don't always show themselves as you would expect, as far as the symptoms. And so, how do you help those who may be recently diagnosed with brain tumors who, maybe didn't know they've had it for quite some time?
well, a lot of times I share my personal story with, what happened to my mom, and I share other survivors' stories on what they've shared with me with what happened to them so that they can kind of know about the signs and symptoms. And I'm sure it may have already been mentioned, headaches are the milestone one. If you are having, frequent headaches, that's something that you definitely want to look into. When your vision might be compromised, which I believe was that one of your
Yes.
symptoms? Yeah, vision can be compromised. Your your mobility, it depends on basically where the tumor is sitting on how it presents, because each section of your brain is responsible for different things, so it depends on where it's sitting on what's going to be impacted. But mainly the hallmark thing is the headaches. When my mom passed and we went through her things, we found Advil and Tylenol in just about every purse she owned.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know how long that was going on. She was busy being a mom and just wanted to, continue life, and so
Oh,
she never really shared with us that she was having these frequent headaches. And when she did, she thought it was her sinuses. She thought it was something else.
mm-hmm.
And so luckily, the ENT said, "Hey, let's, take a look at this and, send you over for, an MRI." And so that's when they found it. So they thought it was something else. Although her story didn't end the way we would have liked,
Yeah.
that could have been a lifesaver for others, because, when they see that
Mhm.
nowadays, they typically send you right to surgery and get you out. With my mom, there was a little bit of issue with where she was taken and waited 4 additional days and things of that nature, where,
Mhm.
it was, "Oh, we're scheduled her for surgery next week." Well, what do you mean next week?
Right.
And we didn't know any
Wasn't
better.
urgent at that point.
Yeah,
Right.
we didn't know. I was a newbie to this whole brain tumor, thing. I didn't know. I'm just listening to the doctors. Okay, they said you're scheduled. We're okay. And things continued and continued to, progress, because that tumor was starting to hemorrhage, press down and hemorrhage and
Oh,
causing, blood and things of that nature. And that's why my mom succumbed to her meningioma. So a meningioma is typically, not cancerous. They even told us, if you are to have a brain tumor, this is the one you want to have. So we're
mm,
thinking, okay, we're good. Little did we know we were going to lose her 4 days later.
I know. Wow. Oh, wow.
So it's those headaches, being vigilant about your health. If there is something, anything, that's
Mhm.
different, you have to, look into that and see what's going on, because they said this tumor was probably growing with my mom for years. So it could have been,
Mhm.
prevented. But you just keep going, pop that Tylenol, pop the
Right.
Advil,
Don't know what you
and
don't know. Right.
right, right.
Mhm.
So I don't know if this is the right time to share this part, but when my mom got diagnosed, we were doing our favorite pastime, which you guys were talking about, the shoe show. We
Oh,
were
yeah.
shopping.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we were in Orland Square Mall doing our usual, walking through the mall, looking at stores, seeing what we were gonna buy. And I'm walking and talking, and I look and I'm like, where is she? And she wasn't right next to me as she normally is. And I look down the hall, she's walking really, really slow. And I'm
Mm.
like, what is going on? So I go back down, I grab her arm and I'm like, you want to sit? Is something wrong? And we sat down, and she said she needed to rest. And anyone that knew my mom knows she don't rest.
That,
It's
yeah.
let's go, let's go, let's go, and ready
Mhm.
to, hit the
All
next
the time.
store. So I'm
Right.
like totally taken aback, like, what is going on?
Mhm.
So little did I know she was having the headaches, but I didn't know that. Now we have the mobility challenge,
Yeah.
so she's got two that's happening right now.
Right.
So I took
Okay.
her, right. So I took her home to my dad and told him what was happening. She decided to rest, and they made an appointment to the ENT, and then everything else that I already told you, the ENT
Right.
center for CT scans and all of those different
Yeah.
things. So um it can present in different ways. I don't know, for those of you that may be listening, that are familiar with Karen Lewis from Chicago Teachers Union, who at one point was going to run against Mayor Emanuel for mayor of
Mhm.
Chicago, if anyone remembers her. The reason she didn't continue her mayoral campaign was because they thought she had a stroke on the campaign trail, but it was
Oh,
actually a brain tumor.
wow. No, I did not know that. Hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was actually a brain tumor. And it was kind of situation, kind of like my mom, sit down, what's going on with you? And they really thought it was just like a stroke, but they, went further, and they found, that tumor sitting there. And she passed maybe 3 years ago. But
Mm.
with that, I'm a former teacher. In my my career path, I did teach in Chicago public schools. And when I found out about that, I did reach out to her and spoke to her, and she was in such good spirits. She actually created a scholarship along with us, and that's
Mhm.
one of our scholarships that we give away
Oh,
every
in her
single
honor.
year.
Okay.
It is the Karen Lewis Excellence in Science Scholarship Award, and she worked with me. We wrote it up how she wanted it written up,
Oh,
and we continue to give that scholarship. We did maybe 2 or 3 before she passed, but I made sure that she knew I'm going to continue this.
yes.
No matter what happens. And so that's our Chicago public school piece, which ties into my mom because my mom was a Chicago public school student as well.
Okay.
She went to
Yeah.
Tilden, and went through the Chicago public school system. So, just hearing, her story, how hers presented more like a stroke, things of that nature. At the end of the day, you just want to make sure that you are checking your health. If you are having frequent symptoms of something, no matter what it is, you need to get that checked out because you should not have the same thing happening over and over again and you don't know why, and you're just putting a
Yeah.
band-aid on it.
Right.
So I think about that. If had I known, my mom could still be
Right.
here. She could be
Right.
a
Yeah.
testimony like, Miss Rushing, who I call my other mother. You
Right.
know, but we don't know, and I think sometimes as Black women we're so busy, as everyone is,
Mhm.
but we're doubly busy, and we're
Right.
we're taking care of so many people, and I think that's what her concern was until she couldn't mask it anymore. And so,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
The other thing I'd add, because you said something that kind of resonated with me, which is go check things out. And I know sometimes, especially Black patients, don't always get the time and attention, and you kind of touch that. And so I always tell people, don't stop. If they say, "Oh, it's nothing," and trust your body, trust your instincts. If no, there's something here, keep going, keep asking, go to another doctor. But I've just heard too many stories where one doctor said, "Oh, it's nothing," when it really was something. So to all our listeners, if you feel something, if you see something, say something, like they say, and don't let someone tell you you're not seeing something or feeling something. Keep trying.
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, at this point, um, there are over 1 million Americans living with the primary brain tumor, and people don't
Wow.
know that. And the overall instance of it, the rate is higher in women versus men. So, women's more like
Mhm.
59% or so, 41% in men. And then when you
Hmm.
look at the adolescent population, you're looking from 0 to 19, you're looking at around about 5.7% that occur in children and adolescents. And then for, Black patients, it's a slightly higher incidence rate as well as a poorer
Mhm.
survival rate.
Wow. That's
And
with
that's
most.
the case with most, diseases, where
Right.
it's harder, for us, when it comes to survival. And it could very well be, like what Angelique said, sometimes we
Mhm.
aren't taken seriously. I
Early
often
detection.
think, yep. I often think, would they have just, oh, let's find the next available surgery for my mom? Would that have been the case if she was not an African American woman?
That's true.
I'm
You never know.
Unfortunately, I will never know that.
Right.
But it's true.
Right.
I've had my own personal, health situations where it's like I had to get forceful, like, okay, take me seriously. Is something wrong?
Oh, we've
you
all had
Right.
know
those stories.
and
Yes.
it shouldn't be that way.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but I would be remiss if I didn't hit the fact that there are 100, more than 100 different tumor types. So we've talked about the
Mhm.
meningioma, which is what my mom had, what Miss Rushing has had. The main one, the one that gets a lot of attention, I should say, is the glioblastoma, and it's called
Mhm.
a GBM for glioblastoma. And glioblastoma is so deadly. You want to think of people like Johnny Cochran, John McCain. They
Mm.
succumb to that type of tumor because it's very aggressive. It's so aggressive that it has its own day that
Wow.
we look at. So May, which is why you guys have me here, the month of May is for brain tumor awareness. But glioblastoma, there is a day, a GBM day, because that
Wow.
particular tumor type is very rough. One year, I want to say 2 years ago, we had Diane Pathow from Channel 7. She was at our shoe event, and we honored
Mhm.
her husband, and he is currently battling a glioblastoma.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So it's a tough one, because when you look at the different tumors, they can be malignant, or they can be benign. The benign is it's not cancerous. The malignant, those are cancerous, and GBMs are cancerous, which is why they are, so difficult. So you're looking at meningiomas being like 46% and GBMs only 16.4%, but so aggressive. And then there are pituitary tumors too. Those are the main three that you'll hear about out of the 100 different types that
Wow.
they have.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so it's just something that people should be aware of. And when I look at us and what we're asking from your listeners is to support us with attending our events, like the shoe event that you guys were talking about.
Mhm.
At the shoe event, we do auctions to raise funds so that we can support patients, because one of our main things is to give patients assistance, because people don't realize when you're sick you have to go to the doctor, right? And if you are very sick where you're going to a place like Northwestern, you're going to be paying parking every
Mm,
time you go. And I
right.
don't know if anybody has paid parking recently. I was just there this morning in Northwestern. It is a lot. And imagine having to go multiple times,
Yes.
with
That adds
food and
up very quickly.
it
Right.
adds up very quickly. And patients, sometimes they don't have the fortune of being right here near Northwestern, right? They
Mhm.
may be coming in from other places. So you're looking at their travel, you're looking at all these different things, the time off work, and people get behind on their bills.
Yes.
So that's what we're here for too, so that we can support patients. So when you're wondering, like, where does this money go, where you're raising all
Mhm.
this money, it's going to patients. We're not paid. I do this, as a passion project, in memory of my
Mhm.
mom and the entire board. Nobody is paid. It's not paying any of the Woodson's bills. This
Right.
this is truly going right back
It's
out
a labor
to.
of love. Right.
Right. It's a labor of love, and it's going right back out to those patients that are asking us to help because they don't know if they're going to have a roof over their head next month. So we've
Wow.
Wow.
paid mortgages, we've paid for CT scans, we've done all those things. And then in addition to that, we have that other arm where we give the scholarships, and those scholarships are helping to drive students into that field of study, because
Yeah.
at this point,
Yeah.
we should have more cures, something, and it hasn't
You want to
changed
make
much.
advances. Right.
Yeah, more advances,
Yeah.
so that people's story doesn't have to end like my mom.
Right.
We want more Joyce Rushings and
Yeah.
people like that actually get to the other side, and are able to tell their story. That's what we want, and so we're trying to fill the funnel, if you will, with
Yeah.
good talent
Yeah.
that is going to actually go out here and help us progress, move forward.
I absolutely love that. And it takes both arms to make an
Hmm.
impact
Yeah.
in this area. We so appreciate you and your foundation. So, again, we have another minute or so. Can you tell people how they can help advance the Mary E. Smith Foundation and its mission?
Yes, so you can help us by supporting our events. We have our upcoming 5K, which we've been doing for years. This is our like 17th one.
Wow.
And that one raises most of our dollars so that we can support patients and support the scholarship recipients. And so that's taking place at Chicago Ridge Mall on Saturday, June 14th. The registration is open. You can go to our website and you can sign up and register. So if you sign up before the end of Brain Tumor Awareness Month, you get a little bit of a discount because the price does go up coming June 1st. You get a
First.
t-shirt, a medal, and all of that, and you get to see the health vendors and some of our scholarship winners, and you can, meet them and see kind of what we do. And then if you want to host an event on your own, please reach out, send us an email, do the contact us, because we do things for Giving Tuesday, which is like a national nonprofit day, and
Mhm.
we do exercise classes, things of that nature. We're open to whatever you want to do. as a fundraiser to help us, because I'm only one person. Joyce is only one person. She's been volunteering with us forever, before and after her brain tumor
Mm.
diagnosis. So we need people to just reach out and see what can you do to help if you're not able to attend these upcoming events. But that's what we have coming up next, the June 14th event.
Okay. Thank you so much, for the work that you do. And again, I'm going to reiterate, go to the website, the Mary E. Smith Foundation.org, and see where you can help. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. All of the small gestures that you can do will make a difference. Will help the Woodson family keep her mom's name and loving heart in as a priority. So we
Yeah,
appreciate
and Tiffany, I would say you are a phenomenal woman.
it.
Oh,
And the
thank you.
fact that you took pain to advocacy and that you were doing this, you were strong, you were brave. I look up to you. Just
Absolutely.
congratulations for all that you're doing. And J4G is here to support you and the Mary E. Smith Foundation however we can. So just know that you have our 150% support in this journey.
Thank you. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Thank you so much for giving me a platform to just tell people it's Brain Tumor Awareness Month. So help
It's
out.
Brain Tumor Awareness Month. Yes. And again, please give us a heart on this video and share it. Share it with your networks. You never know whose life you may save, or someone may be suffering in silence and they'll have a resource that can
Mhm.
help them get through it. So please share this far and wide. It's Brain Tumor Awareness Month, and come out in June. Team Just for Girlfriends will be there at the walk on the 14th.
Yeah.
We're accepting members to our team, and we are accepting donations. You can find us at the link on her website. Joyce, thank you for
You're
coming and
welcome.
sharing your story.
Oh,
And
yeah. Thank you.
yeah, I love to hear about miracles, and you're one of them, a blessing to the Mary E. Smith Foundation as well. So
Thank you.
thank you guys. I'm glad
Thank
you could have
you.
us
Thank you
on.
so much.
Yeah, we'll see you in June. Thank you
All
guys.
right.
We'll talk
Thank
Okay.
to you.
Thank
you.
you. Have a blessed day.
You too.
Thank you. You too.
So now is the part of the show where we are going to go into a little girl chat. We'll be right back in a few seconds. Okay, now this is the part of the show where we give real world advice to those who need it. Now, most times we're helping the ladies out, but this time a man has reached out and wants to know. So here is his story. So he's been dating a woman that he really likes. It's only been about 3 months, but they are clicking on all cylinders. He really likes it, but he has a question. He says so far he always cover the cost of their dates, and they go on a lot of them. He takes the time and picks out creative things to do, but he says every single time he's paying. And he says, don't get me wrong, I enjoy taking her out and making her experiences special. But I'm wondering, is this a red flag? Should she have offered to contribute? And he's saying that he's wondering if is this a long-term, is this a perspective on her long-term thoughts on having, sharing in the financial responsibility of their relationship. And he says he doesn't expect her to cover the cost of every date or even a lot of them. But he says an occasional offering to at least split the bill or taking him out, surprising him and taking him out, he would really appreciate this. So he says, should I discuss this with her? Am I being petty? Or does this pattern say anything about her approach to relationships in the long run? And he's really looking for our advice. So Angelique, what do you think? Is this a red flag or should this be expected on her part?
I wouldn't say it's a red flag. I would say this is an opportunity for communication. So maybe he has come off, and I don't know, he didn't say this. Maybe he has come off as that very alpha male who is taking care of everything, and she might be feeling like a princess right now, like, oh my God, he's so nice. Thank you for doing this. not even thinking about, oh, maybe he's starting to not like this and doesn't want to pay and let me jump in. So I say if they're clicking on all cylinders, just stop and have some communication and talk about it. Oh, time and time again, we go through these things. And I think a lot of the faux pas in relationships happen because people aren't being honest and aren't speaking their mind. So I would say he should sit her down and say, babe, I'm enjoying this. I love you. This is, if they're at love yet, I don't know. But babe, I'm enjoying this. We're having so much fun. Right. We're having so much fun. But talk about finances, talk about expectations. Don't get mad at someone else because they can't read your mind. Open your mouth, speak, talk, say, I'm not feeling this. And then you might find that it just works itself out.
Yep, I think you hit the nail on the head with this one, because I'm thinking 3 months, I personally would not even be thinking about jumping in. You know what I mean? It's still really early. And I think that's one of the things we love about the dating process, is being showered with attention and things. So I agree. Talk to her about it, because I do not think it's a red flag. Now, if you've been going out for a year and they have never offered to take you out or do something nice for you, okay, that may be a red flag, but don't wait that long. Like Angelique said, talk about it, especially if you are seeking advice from the random internet aunties, as we like to call ourselves. Please talk to her. She will be like, oh, I had no idea you were feeling this way. And I think he's not feeling a particular way yet, but he's wondering, is this what I'm in for long term?
No, and he's feeling a particular way if he's asking for advice.
That is true.
He feels some kind of way.
Yeah, but I picked up I don't really care if this is to be expected and it's not a big deal, but you can only understand those things if you talk to her. Like, he's like, honey, and she'd be like, oh, you paying for all these days. That's one thing I don't, that's something you want to know.
Right.
That's one thing I don't do is take me an hour, pay or split bills. There are some women who are like that, and you want to know that up front.
Yes. But don't expect someone else to read your mind. Just don't do that.
Absolutely not. And, even if it's actions, people interpret that different ways. So she may not be picking up if you're dropping any clues. I don't know if you are or not. She's probably not picking up on it. She's probably looking forward to, I wonder what he's going to do next. This is awesome. Yes. Right. Exactly. So I agree. And even if you've talked about it once, sometimes, you go through different phases, many years down the line, you may have to have another conversation about fiscal responsibility and their relationship with money. So it may not be a one time, we're going to talk about it and that's it. So if you're in the audience, you're tuning in, let us know what you think. How should he approach this? Is it a concern? Is it not? Should he ask her about it, or should he just accept that this is going to be something that I do in the relationship? Let us know what you're thinking. And, but I think Angelique and I are both of the mind, just talk to her about it.
Yeah.
And if you're worried about her reaction and maybe making her run off, if you're feeling a certain way, this is the time to do it. 3 months in, this is the time that if you're going to go your separate ways, or you're going to have a little tiff about something, this is the time to do it, not when you're engaged or even married. It's amazing, right?
That's a full circle moment for my beginning commentary. If this is going to end, then just look forward to the next journey. It's a new beginning.
You're right. We've come full circle. Right. We have come full circle. I love it. And you're right. Look, this may not be where it's at, even though you're having a great time now. People come into your lives, they say for a season or for a reason. So, figure that out so that you guys can remain friends. We don't want any hard feelings.
Right.
Exactly. No hard feelings out there. Enjoy the time you had. If it's run its course, it's best to know that now. Absolutely. Yes. So again, if you're out there, you're tuning in and you have a question and you want the sage advice we're giving out for free, hit us on social media. You can DM us. You can go to the website. We have a contact us page. You can submit questions there or issues, or, if you just want to sound off and, see if it's something that you're thinking about, you want different perspectives on. We welcome the opportunity to share our advice with you. So again, our website, just the number 4girlfriends.com. Please come to the website, find out what we have going on, and come visit us on social media for more of these types of conversations. Again, another opportunity to figure out what we have in the pipeline as far as events, things that you may, a lot of our events are members only, but every now and then we invite those who aren't members to enjoy. But you'll get more of a sense of what Just for Girlfriends is if you meet us on social media.
Absolutely.
Any closing remarks, Angelique?
No, I think you've hit it all. This has been an important conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know me, I'm a hypochondriac, so I started thinking about every possible symptom I could have ever had.
I was like, do I feel something right here?
I was about ready to run off to go make a doctor's appointment when the computer started glitching. But
absolutely. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know. Yeah, let's take an inventory of everything, right?
I
but
know.
You're absolutely right. It's better to know than not know.
So once again, another important conversation. And I would just leave our audience with, regardless of what it is, and we've all been there, if you feel something is wrong with you, don't take no for an answer. So many times doctors will just say, oh, it's not this or it's not that. Just keep searching until you get the answers and you feel comfortable that you've been truly assessed appropriately. Just don't take no for an answer. It can be life and death, as we just heard. And so
absolutely,
I would say leave our audience with that. And of course, Just for Girlfriends, we're here. Help make your life a little easier. Commercial break from life, justforgirlfriends.com. We are a member-based company, so please join us. Membership is $199 a year. And it's a cup of coffee. If you go to Starbucks frequently, you pick up that $199 pretty quickly. But this is for you, and this is for your future and your health, and for you to enjoy self-care. We do all the work. You show up. It's really important. You know, Tiffany said something that I never say. We never talk about this, but J4G puts everything on, and it's a labor of love. We do it because self-care is so important to us, not just personally, but also helping other women embrace self-care, because we've all had times in our life, you know, we look like everything's great, but we've all had times in our life where we were really on that brink of cracking, and our sisterhood helped pick us up and helped us in, you know, embracing that self-care. So I want to just have a little moment of transparency, and, you know, just it's important. So please, we do this because it's important.
Absolutely. Just having that sisterhood and that opportunity to put yourself first, I can't tell you how much of a difference it makes. And the same thing with the Mary E. Smith Foundation. They are here with the resources if you need them, God forbid, you know. So, well, thank you. I see that we have people tuning in from all over the United States. Almost every state has checked in. So thank you for being here. Like this video, share it to your networks. Let's get this information out there to those who may need it. We so appreciate you coming to see us here every month. Today we were on Tuesday, but we're normally the fourth Monday of every month. We'll be back in June on that fourth Monday at 3 p.m. with another interesting topic to make a difference in your lives. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.